And we are live. Welcome, mystery and thriller fans. I'm your on-air host and author, Sara DiVello, and I am so excited to welcome tonight Emily Carpenter, here to give us the inside scoop on her brand new book, Gothictown, out tomorrow. Emily, welcome to Mystery and Thriller Mavens. Tell us about this book.
Thank you for having me, Sarah. Number one. So Gothictown is about a woman named Billy Hope. She's a Manhattan restaurateur who has lost her restaurant in the pandemic lockdown. She gets this email, sort of random, advertising something called the Juliana Initiative, which is a small town in Georgia. Juliana is kind of advertising for new citizens to come move down there. They're selling beautiful Victorian mansions for $100. They're giving business grants. Anyway, Billy moves her family down there. And at first, everything is idyllic, and then things start to get a little odd. And that's all I'll say.
A little odd indeed.
And possibly murderous.
Possibly murderous, paranormally petrifying. So much to discuss. And I can't wait to get into every delicious detail. First, I just want to welcome everyone. We are broadcasting live to 8 destinations across Facebook and YouTube. So no matter where you're watching, mystery and thriller loving friends, you're in the right place. It is the right time. It is Mystery Monday. And because Mondays can be murder, we are going to make it a little less painful and get your week off to a killer start. So if you've been here before, you know the drill. And if you're new, here's the drill. Every Monday, you get to ask these authors anything. So ask Emily about her writing process, about Gothictown, about Juliana, about the real story of Emily's town, behind the story. We have so much to get into. We have Renee joining us from gorgeous Southeast Florida on Facebook. Hi, Renee. Welcome to the conversation. We have Kim joining us saying, hello, book friends. Murder by the Book. Did someone say Victorian Mansion for $100? Pack our bags. I know. As I was reading about, I am such an old house fanatic. I was like, they were describing the house and then all of the historic furniture in it. I was like, maybe I could live there. So I am so excited. Renee wants to know, Emily, why did you decide to write a Gothic story?
I think everything I write is Gothic. I think any story I think of has some sort of Gothic undertones. And I think that comes from just the kind of stories that I grew up reading. I love Jane Eyre. I love all the Bronte books. I love Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. I love Anne Rice. So yeah, anything Gothic, anything Southern Gothic, that just tends to be my sensibility. So when I come up with a story, that's it. It's Gothic.
I love that. And all the hearts on Facebook are telling me everyone else loves that too. And for those who don't know, Emily, tell us what you mean by Gothic.
Okay, so Gothic is, there are like college majors dedicated to this. So I'll just give you like the shortcuts. Gothic originated in England, and of course it's like an architectural form, but it's also literature, and it refers to literature that is kind of set in a very it was a dark and stormy night. You have like old crumbling castles and mansions. You have like damsel in distress. You have a brooding, a sort of Byronic hero. You have, supernatural occurrences, maybe ghosts, or are they just in your mind? There's like a kind of preoccupation with like death and decay and kind of what's going on the other side of the veil.
So I actually didn't know that, Emily. I did not know that is so interesting. So thank you for sharing that. And then by Southern Gothic, we just mean that aesthetic, that vibe, but in the southern part of the United States. Is that right?
Yeah, Southern Gothic is just I call it the little sister of Gothic. It's just the crazy little sister of Gothic. It's a subcategory. And yeah, it's all those things taking place in the past, and also sort of including the sins of the past of the South, including like the Civil War, slavery, racism, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I liked how you addressed that in this book. And I also liked like other books that are set in the South that also address the reckoning of who we are now, who we were then, how are we reckoning with our history and ourselves. So I want to get into that a little more as well. But first I want to say hi to Robin, who is saying hi from Roxy, Mia, and Squid. Hi, Roxy, Mia, and Squid. And Renee is asking, the bird knew. Oh, Renee, thank you so much. My friend Leslie sent this to me. I just lost my brother 9 weeks ago, and she sent me this beautiful hummingbird painting to symbolize his living on in my heart. So thank you for noticing my new hummingbird. And I wish I was that talented. Sadly, I am not that good of an artist. Robin is joining us from Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. Welcome to the conversation, Robin. So good to see you here. So Emily, this is not your first book. So tell us what you've learned from writing book number 1 to writing Gothictown about yourself and about your practice of writing, your process.
Oh gosh, wow, it has really been an education. Like I am really a self-taught writer. So this whole process, with every book, it's like I'm learning something new. And I never know what I'm going to learn, but each book teaches me something different. And I don't know, it's too much to go into, but yeah, there's pretty much a new lesson for every book.
I love that you said that you're a self-taught writer, because I am a self-taught writer and I learn best by doing. What has this book taught you?
This book really taught me to sort of trust my instincts and trust the process of writing the book. Sometimes I get really impatient, like I want to skip to the end, and like I don't want to have like 7 rewrites that are messy and make me, pull my hair out. But it is through that process that I discover some really cool things, like new characters and new little twists and little nuggets to put in the story. But yeah, to kind of trust that, when I came up with this idea, I was like, this is a really good idea. But I didn't necessarily have everybody else telling me that. So I mean, it wasn't like anyone was discouraging me, but sometimes you're the only one that can really you carry the torch, man. It's your idea, and you have to like stick to it and convince everybody else that this is a great idea as well. So
well, I think it is. First of all, I love what you said about learning to trust yourself, because I feel like that's a lifelong process for me, still evolving. I still struggle to trust myself. And I feel like that's for a lot of women, because we live in a culture that gaslights us, frankly, and tells us not to trust ourselves. So when we feel like this is true or this is real, and people say, are you sure? Or no, it's not, it creates this schism between what you think and feel and what you're told. And so I think it's for me at least, a lifelong process of reclaiming trust. And so I love that you said that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my goodness, my favorite, a Southern librarian and bookstagrammers in the house, Anissa Joy Armstrong. Hi, Sarah and Emily. I loved this book. It is creep-tastic. So high praise there from the incredible Anissa Joy, who is a librarian in South Carolina, my favorite librarian bookstagrammer. And I'm so happy to know that we got the Anissa Joy stamp of approval here. Creep-tastic is such a great review. Kim wants to know, would you say that the location is a character in the story since it's Gothic? Is Juliana a character?
Oh, yes. Juliana is a character. Literally, the town is named after a an actual child who lived back in the 1800s, and the town itself is definitely a character, because Billy realizes when she moves down here that the citizens of Juliana, especially these three founding families, are dedicated to the town in a way that she has never experienced.
Great question, Kim. Thank you so much for that. Anissa would like to know, I love this question. Was this the original title and the cover? Because as we know, us authors don't always get to keep our vision. So let's start with first the title, then this gorgeous Creeptastic cover.
Yes, the title, I am happy to say, was my idea, came out of my brain, and I'm not always as good as that with titles. So this was like a true triumph for me. When I came up with this title, I was like very excied about it. The cover,
so many hearts up on Emily. You're getting like bouquets. Everyone's loving this.
I mean, I loved it. I just remember when it popped into my mind, I was like, oh, this is it. This is a fantastic title. The cover was more of a process. It was really tough because it's not a full-on horror novel, obviously. It's suspense, and I've got, this is the hardback. I just got these. It's a suspense book as well, with kind of this thread of horror running through it. So it was really tricky to try to kind of capture all of that in the cover. So yeah, but Kensington, my editor, they were great. And I mean, when I saw this, I was like, bingo, this is it. Yeah.
Oops, I was muted. Yay, I'm so happy that you got to, that you got such a beautiful cover and you got to keep your title.
Yeah.
That is so cool. Robin saying, yay for your own title. Yeah, because so many times we don't get to do that. And Renee saying, congratulations, Emily. We're all just cheering for you. I know, it's so great to have that. Robin saying, what a beautiful remembrance of your brother, Sarah. Please share his first name, Kevin. She said, if you wish. Yes, this is Kevin now in hummingbird form, where he will flutter in my heart forevermore. Thank you, Robin. Sharon is joining us from YouTube saying, hi, girls. Hello, girls. Hi, Sharon. Welcome to the conversation. So happy to have you here. John is joining us from Northeast Ohio on Facebook. Hi, John. Welcome to the conversation. Oh, Robin wants to know, wait just a minute. Is it mildly creepy or scare the pants off you creepy? What is the creeptastic factor here, Emily?
We don't have a rating system. Like romance books, they have the little chili peppers,
the peppers. Yeah, we should have a ghost system, or like the monk scream, or the
Yeah. It's hard to say because everybody has a different sort of idea of what's scary and what's not scary. I tend to think that it is mildly to moderately creepy, and there's other people who have told me this scared me to death. I would not read it at night before I went to bed. So your mileage may vary. I think it depends on if you love to watch scary movies, like you're good, you'll be good.
Robin, I will say for me, it was scary, but I knew what I was going in for because I read the back. So I was prepared for it. And it's not for me, ghosts don't bother me. Creepy doesn't bother me. What bothers me is gory violence. And this does not have gory violence in it. There's no gratuitous.
There's a little bit. There's a little bit.
Not like, I think I've read some really stomach turning stuff where I'm like, oh, I can't do that. This was okay for me. But Robin, if you let us know what you think when you read it.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to write this book? And is that a normal amount of time for you?
That's a great question. I want to say, like, when I write, we call it drafting. Like when you write the first draft, we call it drafting. So when I was drafting this book, I think it was like 2.5, 3 months. I write pretty fast for that first draft, but it's a super messy draft. I just put everything I think of in the draft. So then it takes like months to do revisions. And I will just say probably roughly around 5 months. But then, we have the editing process as well, which I consider part of the writing process. So, yeah, I mean, it takes a full year to like get a book ready for me, but really that initial writing is about 2 to 3 months.
I just realized who you remind me of, who you look like, Emily. Laura Dern.
Oh,
Laura Dern. Are you
I
guys
love
seeing
her.
it? It's Laura Dern in Big Little Lies.
I love her.
Here we have Laura Dern. Oh my God, I love it. Okay. Is there an audiobook, Robin wants to know? And if so, did you have a say in the narrator?
Yes, actually, the narrator is Cassandra Campbell, who narrated Where the Crawdads Sing and The Help, and like many, many huge books that are now going right out of my brain. But yeah, I mean, she's like this incredible award-winning, yeah, and they brought her to me and I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm honored.
Twist
Yeah.
my rubber arm.
Yeah.
That is not a deep thinker. That is not a head scratcher. That's amazing.
No,
Amazing. Amazing.
I was thrilled.
Renee is saying that is a great explanation of the creep-tastic factor. And she wants to know, Emily, what kind of books do you prefer to read on that creep-tastic?
Yeah, I mean, I read everything. So I do like some horror. I like folk horror, which is always
Ooh,
like,
what's that?
folk horror is like, it's a
Wait,
feel
folk horror.
folk horror. So it's
I've
like,
never heard that term. Okay.
I don't have the exact definition, but it's like a field in northern England, and it's the tree where they always hung the people and the criminals and their spirits, and there's like,
Ooh.
scary sticks arranged in a
Oh
strange
yeah. Okay.
pattern on
Like
the moor.
True Detective.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's very
Also Southern
vocal.
Gothic.
Yeah,
Okay.
I love that stuff. And I love Southern Gothic. Obviously, I love literary fiction. I love nonfiction. I went through a phase of romance, and I haven't read it in a while, but I love it. And I've written some under a pen name. And
Her pen name is Spicy McSpicerson. Her pen name is 5 Spicy Peppers.
no, it's not. It's more like
Spice.
3. It's more like 3.2. Yeah, let me see. I mean, I just I'm all over the map. I'm always looking for a book that is just gonna like light me up. You know what I mean? And I never know what it's gonna be. And I'm always surprised. I'm always like, I had no idea that I was gonna feel this way about, this book. So it's to me, reading is that kind of discovery.
All of the hearts just blooming on Facebook is telling me that everyone is resonating with this, right, guys? That's why we read. That's why we read.
It's the search for the perfect pair of jeans. It's the same thing.
The ongoing quest for the perfect
Yeah.
bra. It's so hard.
Yeah, exactly.
Elizabeth, welcome to the conversation, saying, agreed, Sarah. I like eerie, scary stories, not what they call body horror, not a fan. Exactly, Elizabeth. See, we're vibing. You get it. Exactly.
Yeah.
And when you were saying the folk horror, with the haunted tree, this the sticks or whatever. So Emily, have you seen a ghost?
I have never seen a ghost.
You hesitated in a way that told me maybe you've seen a ghost and you don't want to admit that you've seen a ghost.
I have never seen a ghost, and that is the truth. I think why I hesitated is because I have felt feelings. You know what I mean? Like when I remember my husband and I were looking at houses, this has been decade ago. Um, we walked into this house and I immediately got a very like heavy, dark feeling. And I don't know that that was a ghost or if it had anything to do with the family that lived there or who, I don't know what it was. I just knew the feeling in the house was not right.
You got to trust that feeling.
Yeah.
Tell me you didn't buy that house.
I did not buy that house.
Thank God that house
And in
was
fact,
one.
I said to my husband, I was like, I don't even need to look at it. Like, I have a very bad feeling where we need to leave. And he was like, okay.
Yeah, that you got to get out of here. Exactly. Because you know
Yeah.
you're not going to. We need to know more about this. What about a premonition?
Oh, yeah. I've had that I'm much more familiar with. I'm very very in tune with kind of my intuitive side and like I swear to you growing up in school, I always knew like when I didn't study for a test and then the teacher would be like, "Oh, we're not going to have that quiz anymore or you don't have to turn in this." And it's like I would just know. Weird, very weird. And like a couple of times with my kids, like waking up early for whatever reason and then they needed me. Like right before they called out for me. Like just vibes. I guess.
All vibes. Okay, good. Very, very good vibes. Robin is saying, I have never seen a ghost, but I have most definitely felt her gentle spirit. Still waiting all these years for my Nana to show up. Oh my God, I would be so happy if my Nana showed up. I love my Nana so much. Renee saying, if a house has bad energy, skip it. Amen. Amen. Get out of there. Yeah, no need to be like triple checking.
No.
Robin is saying she loves the idea of the scream emoji to indicate the scary level up to a total of 5 scream faces. Okay, this is happening from now on. Now, this is going to be the Mystery and Thriller Mavens rating system. 5 screaming faces.
5 scream faces.
Exactly. Kim saying, wow, the narrator, big win. Totally. Robin is saying she is so glad there's no gory yuck there's no gory yuck in here. I did want to share that everybody that this is a Publishers Marketplace Buzz Books selection. So congratulations on that, Emily, which is so amazing and so huge. So we are celebrating that. And you guys, the book is not even out yet. Emily is coming on tonight, the night before the book drops, to give us this exclusive sneak peek and to take your questions live. And you can pre-order from our favorite woman-owned independent bookstore. That is Murder by the Book. Whether you're watching with us on Facebook or YouTube, here is that link. So click and pre-order your copy of Gothictown, and the good folks at Murder by the Book will ship it out to you tomorrow. Okay. We had one more question about your writing process, Emily. Do you handwrite or type your drafts?
So I handwrite my outline.
Interesting.
But I type my drafts.
Ooh, tell us why you do that.
I am a little superstitious about that moment of sitting down, opening up a document, writing the title, my name, writing chapter 1 and going. Because at that point, I am going to write 2,000 words every day on that document until it's done.
So what happens on the days that the 2K ain't happening?
Oh, I make it happen.
So you're sitting there. It doesn't matter if it takes you 21 blistering, painful hours. You are not going to bed until the 2,000 words get written.
Yes.
No interruptions.
No interruptions. And that is the first draft. So that is, it's all about, for me, it's all about momentum on that first draft. that's how you get to, 100,000 words. You just go every day, 2,000 words. So I have to be very sure that before I start that, I have to be very sure that I have a book, not just an idea, not just a vibe, not just some characters I like. I have to be very sure that I have act one, act two, act three, turning points, midpoint, all this stuff, know the ending. And that's all handwritten. And it's kind of in my brain and in my heart. And that's when I know when it's all there, like in my handwritten notes, that I can sit down and start that 2,000 words a day.
Robin is saying, "Oh, what a wonderful book starting ritual." I know, I love the ritual of it, and I respect that you are superstitious. I'm so superstitious too. I'm like, don't speak of it. Don't speak of it. They, what if someone hears you? The ghost. I don't know.
It's only because I have started books and not finished them, where the engine just kind of died out in the second act. And so I don't like that. So
Fair enough. Fair enough. Jane Brannigan Coffin, watching in Mystery and Thriller Mavens, wants to know, what are you working on now?
Oh, so I have a book coming out next year around this same time. It's called A Spell for Saints and Sinners. And it is about a young thank you. It is about a young woman who is a psychic, and she lives in Savannah, Georgia. She inherited her grandmother's psychic business. And anyway, she does a great reading for a young woman in town who happens to be from the wealthiest family in town. And she kind of gets pulled into their lives and secrets and shenanigans. So I'm working on that right now.
Great title, Sharon is saying. Anissa wants to know, who is the hardest character to write and why?
Oh, I never know who's going to be the hardest character. I do a lot of
in Gothictown.
Oh, in Gothictown? Gosh, I think Billy's husband, Peter, was tough to write.
The therapist? I love it.
Therapist who is having a very, very difficult time adjusting to life in Juliana. And he acts in some ways that are not acceptable. And so that was hard to write, to kind of, like, he's a wonderful guy and he's a good husband, but he does some things that are really bad. And so that was tough.
We need to go back to the psychic for the Spells for Sinners and Saints. Have you ever seen a psychic for a reading yourself, Emily? This is from Renee.
Yes, I have.
Was it the real deal? Was it accurate?
It was. It was very accurate. Yes, in many ways that were not scary in a bad way, but like, wow, it was very accurate. And I mean, I still have a lot of questions about whether I believe that or not. But I'm not persuaded to disbelieve it. I guess that's a lot of negatives.
If it was right, why do you still doubt it?
Because sometimes I feel like we kind of surround, I feel like we all have access to that sort of the liminal space, or the space, whatever they call it, on the other side of the veil, or, that sort of consciousness. I think we all have access to it. And I don't know that we have to access it through any kind of like rituals or any other sort of channel or conduit. So that's getting a little in the weeds, but yeah, I definitely believe that it's there. and that it is for us. It's just different people seem to access it in different ways. I'll say that.
Interesting. Well, we are, oh my goodness, we are out of time. Time flies when you're having this much fun. But I just want to ask you, speed round, your top tip or tips for aspiring authors.
Come up with an idea that you can say in one sentence.
That is good advice. And is there anything that you wish that I had asked that you would like to confess to us here on Mystery and Thriller Mavens, Emily Carpenter?
Confess? Really nothing to confess other than I want everybody to like buy this book and love it as much as I enjoyed writing it. You know, we feel that way as writers, that we really just want, you know, we're not just writing books and throwing them out. Like, we love them. And so I really love Billy, my main character, and I want you guys to love her like I did and root for her. So
well, you can order the book, y'all, tonight right here from our favorite woman-owned independent bookstore, that is Murder by the Book in Houston, Texas. Here's that link, whether you're watching with us on Facebook or YouTube. Click and get your copy going tonight. And the good folks at Murder by the Book will send it out to you first thing tomorrow morning. You don't have to take my word for it. This book has a starred review from, I'm going to pop it up very quickly, has a starred review from Publishers Marketplace, and we have so many rave reviews that I have just popped it into the comments. So you don't have to take my word for it. You can listen to Jane Ann Krentz. You can listen to my friend John Robb. You can listen to JT Ellison, who's been on for the last 4 of her books. You can listen to Kimberly Bell, who's been on here for her last 5 books. You can listen to First Clue or everyone else. Rob Gwatney. Oh my goodness, Renee is right. Incredible reviews. And I put them all in there so you can read them at your leisure. Y'all, that is a wrap for us. Thank you for spending your Monday evening with us. And I hope your week is off to a killer start. May the days and the pages fly by. I will see you here next Mystery Monday. Thanks, Emily.
Thank you so much, Sarah.